Good afternoon, all gathered here. So I am here to deliver a guest lecture on effect of climate change on marine resource and mitigation. Actually, today's lecture we are going to deal with three things. Like now, the burning issue is global warming. Because of global warming, it leads to the climate change. So here, how you people knowing the global warming, just a recollection of your school days class or lectures. So what is global warming and what is climate change? What is the impact on that climate change in fisheries, especially Indian fisheries? This is the things I am going to deal. So let us start. Actually, we know this is our Earth having an important something peculiar or typical when compared to other planets. The planets which is very near to the sun, they are very heat. The planet which is far away from the sun is getting very cold. Among all planets, only Earth seems to be with the living things. So it's a peculiar thing. So you know, we are getting electromagnetic rays, EMR, electromagnetic radiations from the sun. The electromagnetic radiations are the electric and magnetic field. Sun is producing different wavelength of electromagnetic waves, starting from nanometer size, like which can pass through which is size of atom, and the wavelength of Mount Everest. Among all electromagnetic radiation, these are the basic thing. Among all electromagnetic radiation, we could see certain wavelength. Our eye can see only certain wavelength by the reflection. We know about that 400 to 700 nanometers. Beyond which is a VIBGR. VIBGR, violet, and at the end is red. Beyond red is infrared. Below violet, ultraviolet. If the wavelength is lesser than 400 nanometer, treated as ultraviolet. We can see here, this is our visible light. Because of this VIBGR, we are getting color. You know, my shirt is yellow because my shirt is reflecting electromagnetic waves, yellow color among the VIBGR. So this is the basic thing. Everything is electromagnetic waves we are getting from the sun. So among this, the planet which is near to the sun, which are very hot, as I say, the planet which is away from the sun, they are very cold. The Earth is very peculiar, so we are getting a stable temperature. Earth maintaining a stable temperature because of its thin blanket of air. The air which is surrounded the Earth, which is protecting from different electromagnetic waves. So as we can see, sun is producing alpha ray, gamma ray, beta ray up to radio wave, different kind of even radio waves it can produce. But what kind of rays will reach Earth is mainly ultraviolet. Ultraviolet, we know, it is reflected by the ozone layer which is present in the atmosphere. But visible light, it is entering inside the Earth. Okay, that we will go later. So generally, in atmosphere, as I said, atmosphere, we are having some atmospheric air. As I said, air is protecting us. Air contain, as we know, the childhood itself we used to learn, nitrogen. Air contains 78% of nitrogen. The remaining oxygen is almost 21%. Argon is 0.9%. Trace gases, 0.1% of these trace gases. Among these trace gas, if you are treating this 0.1% trace gas, if you want to break the water, what kind of gases are there in the trace gas? It is carbon dioxide is dominating 93.5%. The next neon, then helium, methane, nitrous oxide, ozone. These are all the gases we could see in our atmosphere. So basically we need sun. What for? If sun is not there, there is no life. What is the purpose of sun? You can see a cycle, everything is balanced. Like a weighing balance, everything is balanced in our atmosphere. You can see the beautiful thing is, as we know, sunlight, which is having electromagnetic waves, mainly visible regions it is passing through. We will talk infrared and ultraviolet later. So the plant primary producer, which contains chlorophyll, is doing the photosynthesis. It takes carbon dioxide, CO2, and it takes water. It is making carbon dioxide, water, 6 molecules of carbon dioxide, 6 molecules of water, converting into 1 molecule of glucose with oxygen. The beautiful thing is, the same glucose is eaten by the animal, which is containing mitochondria. It eats the glucose, it liberates, and the oxygen is released by the plant. It is consumed. So this glucose and oxygen is the raw material for the living things. So again in our body, like animals, we are catalyzing into carbon dioxide and water again. Again this carbon dioxide and water again is absorbed by the plant, again it is going. So what we are getting extra? We are getting the energy. That is in the form of ATP. The glucose, what we are consuming, is going in our body and it is giving the energy. What are the stored energy? Where the energy came from? The energy came from the sun. So this is the nature designed for it. If either place any imbalance, it leads to a problem. It has to go in a systematic manner, it has to be going in a balanced manner. If any problem, any imbalance, it will affect the system. This is what happened. So that's what we are saying here. Heat input from sun, heat input from the earth radiation, it has to balance. So again we will go back. Now the thin layer of atmosphere is burning now, because we altered the nature which is contained in the natural atmospheric air. Among these trace gases, we have seen some trace gases, right? Among these trace gases, three are playing important role: carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide. What it is doing is, if the light is coming from the sun, mainly ultraviolet rays, visible light and infrared, these are the playing major role. These visible ultraviolet rays are reflected the ozone layer. If we are giving O3, O3 is there in the air, so what it is doing, it is reflecting the ultraviolet, it is preventing the ultraviolet rays passing inside our earth. The visible lights are coming inside the earth, then some infrared also is coming inside. We could see this here. In top we could see some of the air molecules. Generally, these ultraviolet rays and visible rays are coming here, it is hitting earth, it is converted, the wavelength is converted to bigger wavelength, so everything is converted to infrared. You can see here ultraviolet rays and visible rays are coming, the red color is showing infrared. The infrared rays has to escape. The thing is that the atmosphere which containing carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, these three gases, it is reflecting. Because this carbon dioxide and other thing, it will reflect the higher wavelength. The infrared generated from the visible or ultraviolet light, our earth is converting, that is not going out, it is reflected by our gases. So these are the three gases. We could see at bottom another three gas. This is given by United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. These three gases are the bottom one. Apart from this carbon dioxide, methane and nitrous oxide, these three gases are man-made due to the anthropogenic effect. We people are created such a gas. This also is reflecting. It is not allowing our infrared, which is generated in the earth, to go out from our atmosphere. So what are the hydrofluorocarbon? Generally we are using in ACs to get cool, right? Then perfluorocarbon. It is aluminum industry, they are using more this perfluorocarbon. Then again we are using sulfur hexafluoride. Sulfur hexafluoride mainly produced when they are making tire industry. Tire is producing, vulcanizing and other things, producing more sulfur hexafluoride. So these are the 6 major gases identified by UN. These are the gases causing more global warming. We could see 1 ton of release of sulfur hexafluoride, which is equivalent to 29,900 tons of carbon dioxide. So even this much carbon dioxide, what the effect it is doing for our global warming, the same effect 1 ton of release of sulfur hexafluoride can do. So that means we are spoiling, we human beings, we are spoiling our earth by anthropogenic activity for our comfortable and the luxury. What is greenhouse effect? As we know what is greenhouse effect, we know the greenhouse. Why? Greenhouse is something like a glass house. We are maintaining a stable temperature. How? By the reflection. If the sun is coming inside, it is getting heated, then we are not allowing back the sunlight to go back, so that we can get some constant temperature, little higher temperature to grow the plant and other things. The same effect is happening in the earth. The sunlight is coming, the ultraviolet is reflected through the ozone layer, the visible light penetrating inside. This visible light, then again infrared also, it is coming out due to this atmosphere, carbon dioxide, methane and nitrous oxide, sulfur hexafluoride, it is reflecting. So it is increasing the heat. So that's what the global warming begins. So scientists are thinking about whether only the gases is creating a global warming, or something, some other causative agents or some phenomena also is there to create a global warming. There are some other things also, like solar cycle. So they could understand that the solar cycle is starting every 11 to 12 years, 11.5 years or 12 years it is going solar. So each and every time we are getting a fluctuation. So this year sunlight and next year sunlight will vary. So the what sunlight we are getting today, so the same energy, same sunlight we are getting after 11th or 12th year, in between 11th and 12th year. This is called a solar cycle. Due to this also, the global warming may take place. The next one is Earth orbit. Earth is rotating in an elliptical orbit, it's not round. So if it is a round, it's a constant temperature we will get, because the distance between sun and moon will be the same. Right? So here, since it's elliptical, if the earth is here, it will get very near, so it will get more heat. If it is going beyond, so it will get less heat. So this also causing, when the earth is going orbit, going near to the sun, this also getting heat. Then meteorites. Meteorites also is causing climate change. There are reports earlier the dinosaur and all, it is destroyed or vanished, extinct due to these meteorites. Then some volcano action. The volcano action also is generating heat. This I am telling apart from the global gas, apart from the greenhouse gas, this is also giving a global warming. Then sandstorm. Sandstorm also is a causing. Then land acquisition. You can see in 1900 or 1900 years, how the land was. Now because of what is the purpose? Yellow means crop and mixed farming. We developed. Earlier it was a forest. Now we are land acquisition, we are building, we are doing agriculture and other things. Due to this land acquisition also, one of the reasons to create a global warming. So earlier report says that the temperature anomalies land over ocean. There was a report from 1950 to 2020. So this is the actual data. The land surface air temperature, the yellow color, like an orange color. Then sea surface water temperature is a blue color dotted. They were smoothening every 5 years. Then we could observe this red line and blue line. We could see after 1990, it is keep on increasing. The overall global temperature as well as the ocean temperature. The top one is globe temperature, the bottom one is temperature. This is the level of carbon dioxide level. So carbon dioxide level, as I said, we have to balance the carbon dioxide which is produced by us or some activity, it has to consumed by the plants. If plants less, again the carbon dioxide remains, and the level of carbon dioxide will increase. So that if we are burning the fossil fuel, this also generates a lot of carbon dioxide. Okay, so it created a imbalance. Because we need more plant to convert carbon dioxide and water to glucose. Now we are destroying plant, we could not generate it. Okay. So when it started, they could see the carbon dioxide level after pre-industrialization. Our globe, we started our industrialization after 1800 only. So you may be asking, 1000 before 1000, 1200, 400, who took the data? Who evaluated, right? So these are all data they generated from the carbon dating. In the polar region, carbon dating, C14. It's a percentage, that is a different story, how they are doing the carbon dating and that. With the help of carbon dating, they could see the amount of carbon dioxide exists in previous year. They took the sample from the polar region and they did like that. So when our industrialization started, the level of carbon dioxide also increased. So what is the effect of this greenhouse gases? So greenhouse gases accumulation, it will impact on biophysical changes. Then it leads to temperature increase, either in the ocean, initially in the land, then it will transfer to the ocean, then acidification. Acidification is a dissolved carbon dioxide. Once carbon dioxide gets dissolved with the water, it will form carbonic acid. Carbonic acid will reduce the pH of sea. Naturally, pure water pH is 7, sea water pH is 8.2 to 8.4. Now it is reducing, almost 0.1, something like that, it came down. The sea water, the normal pH of sea water is 8.2. Now something, due to this global warming and other thing, now the pH is less. So acidification is not something like less than 7, but what is the original pH of sea water? It gone down. Then water current has changed. Then anoxia. Anoxia means without oxygen, dissolved oxygen, level of dissolved oxygen is less. Then it affects the rainfall. Then sea level rise. Sea level rise due to the glacier retreat. Then storm frequency and intensity. It will give giving impact on coastal and marine ecosystem. This is the pathway which is giving impact from our global warming and the climate change. So these are the things, carbon dioxide. Due to carbon dioxide, our earth, which contains 2/3 of water, this water is getting 90% of heat. More than 90% of heat is absorbed due to this carbon dioxide because of this greenhouse effect. Then 25% is more due to acid. It creates the less oxygen condition. If oxygen is less, it leads to some lot of problems. As we know, what is weather and climate, right? So weather is a short term. Yesterday it was good or bad, like I used to say. The collection of for 1 month, we are saying this month the climate was this much. Last month is starting from 1 month to 100 or 1000 years. So we can say about the climate is as a length of time. Am I audible last? Okay, what are the effects? Change in the rain and snow pattern. Changes in animal migration. It's a phenology. Less snow in ice. More drought and wildlife. Higher temperature. Strong storm. Damaged corals. Corals are getting damaged due to the acidification. So that we can see that the rising sea level because of glacier retreat. Then warm ocean. Changing in planet life cycle. Then thawing. Permafrost. Frost. The frost is getting thawed because the thawing. Permafrost means we could not see the ice above the sand, above the land. If the frost is forming below the land, below the sand, below the land, so we could not see that also will melt. That also giving impact. So these are the news we are hearing here that because of that climate change, this happened, that happened, another thing. So glacial retreat, then mean sea level rise. Once glacial retreat, glaciers are melted, what will happen? The mean sea level will rise. You could see here the climate change rising sea level. Here this is a normal position. Here we could see salt marshes and mangroves. Once all glaciers are melted, then this much level is increased. So the water level will come, this will vanish. So because of the sea level rise, this will happen. Then salt water ingress. Salt water, the salt water it will come inside the land, so it will spoil the green vegetation. So you could see earlier it was full of green vegetation, now it has gone due to the salt water activity. Then so moistureless, the moisture content of the soil will come down due to this one. Then our vegetation, the drought season, we could see a lot of drought, and ocean temperature will increase. Then the El Nino, have you heard about El Nino? El Nino is nothing but it is a ENSO. It is a El Nino Southern Oscillation. It's something like oscillation, mainly the part of southern region. Southern region, generally we are getting easterly wind. Generally the wind is starting from the trade wind starting from the South America and here, South America, it is moving towards what do you call the west side. So it is taking all the heat from this area. So because of that heat in Australia, that region, the water is getting evaporated, that it is formed the rain. This is the original condition actually, it's a normal. Because of the trade wind, this all the warm water will come here, it will evaporate, it will form the cloud, then there we will get a lot of rain. The El Nino effect is, due to this climate change, this is not happening, the rain is not happening, taking place, it is an oscillation. Due to the trade wind, the hot water moved here, again because of the climate change, it is pushed back. So the water will oscillate from here to the east and west. So if we are getting from easterly wind, we are getting El Nino. If we are getting westerly wind, we are getting La Nina. So then again due to the climate change, we are getting heavy rain. So that also is disturbing us. As I said, acidification. We could see this is the original carbon dioxide normal condition. It will get carbonic acid, free hydrogen. The living things will be proper. In case of if we are reaching more carbon, it will give more carbonic acid, which can reduce the pH from lesser than 8. It is not below 7, just below 8. It will affect the primary producer planktons. So planktons are very small, but if the plankton disturbed, everything is disturbed because everything is coming as a network, like a food web. So here you could see because of that the oxygen depletion is taking place. If more due to heat, and the metabolic activity also is more, that you can see in the next slide. If heat more, metabolic activity goes rise. So initially primary production will be more, again it will consume more oxygen, then what will happen? It will decompose. So here you can see oxygen depletion very less, it's oxygen depletion zone. Everything is settled, it's creating an oxy condition. Then another one is due to this pH, our corals are getting bleached. Coral bleaching. Corals are developed through the zooxanthellae. If the pH level goes down, the zooxanthellae will die. It is a plankton. If zooxanthellae only is producing the color compound and it is building it is growing the coral. It is a mutualism. So once zooxanthellae died, coral cannot grow. So coral will get died situation. So it's a healthy coral. Because of this climate change, it is getting bleaching. That means died. There is no zooxanthellae, so it died. The coral is died. The recruitment of this turtle and other thing got damaged because of this climate change. The glaciers are melting, and again it is disturbing the ship and other thing. Then due to this, we are getting contagious diseases and other thing. Recently we could see Ebola and Corona and other thing. So we could see the endemic and epidemic diseases more and more due to this climate change. So the Kyoto Protocol, they are the first 1990, they only started analyze that climate change, and they want to address, they want to control over it to reduce the greenhouse emission 5% level below 1990. What was the level of carbon dioxide or greenhouse gases during 1990? That level less than to reduce for that level 5% less. For example, 500 ppm carbon dioxide was there in 1990. That is a spoiled condition only. At least we can reduce 5% level. of that. So that is our target. Then IPCC, Intergovernmental Panel for Climate Change. They are subsequently they are having a meeting, and they analyze that now the global temperature increased by 1.5 degrees centigrade from after pre-industrialization for last one century. So that every year we are getting increase of 0.1, 0.2 degrees centigrade. So it's keep on increasing. Now we could feel the heat of 1.5 degrees centigrade when compared to pre-industrialization. The IPCC special report says that in 2019, recent report, ocean warming more than double. Now ocean warmed more than double, rising sea level 2.5 times faster. Now we are getting the rate of reaction. 2.5 times, melting glacier, almost 720 billion tons of glaciers will melt. Then 15% decrease in marine animal, 24% decrease in marine catches, low-lying island and coastal at serious risk. As far as India is concerned, Mumbai is at very risk because it is a very low-lying area. So what should be done to stop all this? What are the things we have to carry out to control the climate change effect? So we have to plan, we have to put more plants. Why? To control carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide will convert carbon dioxide and water convert to glucose. So more beneficial, right? Then waste disposal. We should not emit more greenhouse gases. I said 6 gases. So it should not generate. Then reduce the use of product with generated greenhouse gases, like our AC and vehicle. Those things we have to find the alternative for it. Instead of burning fossil fuel, we have to find out some electric, and even electric also we are producing. We cannot 100% stop. At least we have to try to minimize the usage and other thing. We have to try to minimize the impact of it. Then using energy efficient appliances, energy efficient vehicles, then using more renewable energy. We can produce energy from wind and the waves. And we are not exploring in India, we are not exploring so far the energy generated from the wave action. Wave continuously is giving energy from there. Then future will go for that energy production from wave action. So foreign countries they are implementing. Apart from this, we need the unity among all nations. Otherwise, because it is not the problem of my house or my country, it is a global problem. So all the nations has to come forward with IPCC, almost 150 countries of members, and they are working for it to reduce it. So now let us see the impact on marine fisheries of India. What is the impact for our country that we want to see, right? Especially since I am a fisheries college, fisheries background, I want to tell the impact of marine fisheries. Okay. See, total area of the country 3.29 million square meter, but we got the exclusively economic zone. Exclusively economic EEZ surround our country almost 2.0 million square meter. The length of coastal line of India is 130 kilometer. Then fish production 2.8 million ton. But our capacity, our exclusive economic zone can produce 3.9 million tons of fish, out of which we are harvesting 2.8 million ton. Our contribution of Indian GDP is 1% from fishery sector, from this captured fisheries. India is having a fishing village, almost 3,200 fishing village, fish landing center almost 1,500. Then fisher folk, almost 1 million people are involved in fisher folk families are there. So totally almost 4 million people they are working on it. Then India we are having mechanized boats almost 60,000, motorized boats 72,000, non-motorized artisanal fishermen with a catamaran small boat and almost 1 lakh. So this is our continental shelf. You can see this is our beach, this is our ocean. So from beach to here we are getting the territorial sea for 12 nautical mile. Then again from here we are getting 200 nautical mile. Up to 200 nautical mile we are getting EEZ. Except that Sri Lankan border we are our exclusive economic zone is coming down. Then external continental shelf. So this is our area. So here only we are having sovereignty right over natural resources of the water column and the seabed and subsoil, beyond which we cannot harvest the fish as per the international terms and conditions. So you could see that this is India. This is our exclusive economic zone. You can see because of this Sri Lanka, it is going. This is the exclusive economic zone. People used to harvest the fish. For fishermen, sir, can go and harvest the fish. If they are crossing this area, that's why we are getting problem with the Sri Lankan army. They kill our fishermen, they caught our fishermen under, because we are this border. And Andaman Nicobar also, we are having large exclusive EEZ. So what is the place of India in production and aquaculture? Since the sea gauge is going down, we are doing aquaculture. So India is placing a third position among total fish production in the world. After China, Indonesia, third is India. But in aquaculture, India plays second. After China, we are producing more aquaculture products, shrimp, fish and other things. So climate change impact, you can see one by one. You could see here, this is the data, so temperature report, 1961 to 76 to 97, 2005. You can see the red color, it is very prominent. Actually, this screen is not showing properly. So the temperatures keep on getting increased in the ocean or in the exclusive economic zone and other places of India. So because of this warming, so cool ocean become warmer ocean, then monsoon and other things are getting altered. The sea level also rise of 1 meter sea level rise. We could see here, this is a very high risky area because of low-lying areas getting highly risky. For example, you can see very high, moderate, low, and analysis not done. These are the area analysis not done. If the sea level is rise 1 meter, the area will sink. So risk more for where? In Mumbai. You could see the red color. Can you see this? Mumbai, and here is come Maharashtra. So here in Tamil Nadu, we could see moderate and low. So we are not that much lowland when compared to western side. Okay. So due to this, our wind pattern also it is not normal. This abnormal wind pattern we are getting. You can discuss with your elderly people. They could say this wind you never used to happen previously, but this time this wind is blowing like that. Have you heard that? So we can discuss with them. So wind pattern also changing. So it is giving the evidence that we are in the place of climate change. So this is a report by Stephen and Jasper. Changes in species composition of phytoplankton. Due to this heat, the phytoplankton composition itself changed. This is the first, because phytoplanktons are primary producer. They are getting heat or sunlight, then carbon dioxide. They are converting into energy. Phytoplankton are consumed by zooplankton, right? The phytoplankton, this composition of phytoplankton itself is affected because of this climate change. Then it leads to the eutrophication. What is eutrophication? Sometimes the growth is abnormal. We need the normal phase of phytoplankton. But here, due to more heat and more carbon dioxide, more phytoplankton will produce. Then suddenly what will happen? It will crash. It will die because of anoxic condition. Then again it will sink. So again this will take. There will be no phytoplankton. If phytoplankton is there, more. If phytoplankton is not there, means nothing will be there. So there is no balanced thing. So this is affecting the second stage of zooplankton. If it is affecting the zooplankton, means again further it is affecting the nectons like a fish and other thing. It is affected with this phenomena. So this is eutrophication. So again what will happen? This decomposed phytoplankton to decompose bottom. Again it will release more nutrient. Again more amount of phytoplankton produced. Again it will go anoxic condition. Again dies. So this process. So it is uneven. It is abnormal. It's not a normal. There is no balanced manner. So we need the balanced production of phytoplankton as well as the zooplankton. So we could see if the temperature increase, the metabolic rate is increased, right? Even this room now, if it is little heat, just to close the door, again it will more heat. What will happen? Because Mostly the animals which is living inside the water, they are poikilotherm animal, right? Right? Actually we are spending energy, we are homo, right? So we could, even though temperature outside is 10 degrees centigrade, our body will maintain 37 degrees centigrade. So for that we have to produce more energy. It's a basal metabolism. We need the basal metabolism. We are spending more energy to maintain our basal metabolism. But in case of fish, it's not like that. If the surrounding water is 10 degrees centigrade, fish body temperature will be 10 degrees. If surrounding water temperature is 20, fish body temperature also 20. It cannot control because it's poikilothermic reaction. So the rate of reaction, metabolic activity also faster. You could see the temperature is less, it will be eating little. So here temperature is more, it is giving more metabolic rate. So what will happen? So on the other side, it is good. The production will be more. At the same time, it will produce, it will grow very fast, it will die very fast. That is the problem. Here the problem is it's imbalanced. So it is having more negative impact than positive. Very few positive impacts are there because of this climate change, because growth is faster. But it is without any control. So here the food web. Once the phytoplankton get affected, the growth or the diversity are affected, it is indirectly affecting the entire food web, as I said. So finally, it is affecting the entire this one. So interestingly, the scientists, they have reported extension of distribution boundaries of small pelagic fish. Sardine and mackerel. I think you might have seen the sardine and mackerel. These two fishes, earlier it was reported only the west coast, Kerala, Maharashtra and Karnataka. Those regions only these fishes are available more. So they could see in 1961, you could see here only this area of fish. In 1977, slowly it is moved. We are getting more Tamil Nadu region, we got more fish. Now again, 1987 to 1996, again it is reached to Andhra Pradesh. Now again you could see the entire place we are getting. What it shows? It shows the migration of phytoplankton. Because this area we used to get some colder water, because there we are having a lot of river water and other things, right? Bay of Bengal. The temperature is always lesser than the temperatures present in our area, the seawater temperature. So everything moving towards the cooler high altitude region because of this temperature, sea surface temperature, right? So this is reported by Vivekananda et al. 2009. Then how does climate change affect the fish? It's affecting the prey, then it's affecting the predator, then recruitment, distribution and migration of fish. It's affecting the migration of fish also. Then physiology, then it's affecting the physiology, it is getting the disease also. These are the effect the fish is getting. Then another one reports the extension and death of occurrence of Indian mackerel. Even the mackerel is not only moving towards the high altitude, it is going deeper also. Earlier, it was available in the region, coastal region, the mackerel. Now it is going up to 200 meter depth, we could see the mackerel. Now fishing boats are getting mackerel from the deep water. Actually the mackerel belongs to the coastal water fish. Because of sea temperature, it is going little deeper. Because deeper, it is getting little cold. Compared to, because depth is very less, if the water depth is very less, that water will get hot very fast. Then phenology. Fishes are moving for breeding in different places. Generally, if one fish is breeding in Tamil Nadu region means the species we could not see those kind of fishes to breed. For example, phenology is threadfin shrimp seasonal shift spawning. This is the fish earlier we could see in Chennai region. This fish with the more fecundity. Now scientists could not see this fish with the fecund, with the egg in Chennai region during that particular season. Why means the spawning, it is not coming there, it is going somewhere else. Earlier they reported it is with the brood fish. Now they could not see any brood fish. For example, this threadfin shrimp, June month it is coming to Chennai region, it is breeding there means. Now it is not going there to breed. So again it is affecting the ecosystem. Then tuna. Tuna always it is going opposite to the wind direction. So once wind change, again tuna catch also, tuna fish, suramin children, suramin, that catch also is affected because of this climate change. It is they are reported, Sakari et al. They have reported change in direction, speed adversely affect the yellowfin tuna fishery southern coast because tuna moving along the wind and the current from offshore to deep water, offshore deeper water to near shore shallow water. It is moving. So this also getting affected. Then again scientists they reported that because of this climate change, the lifespan of squid also came down. The lifespan of squid also affected. That also reported by the Jackson. Then it is extincting some species. This is a sea cow, dugong species, which is available earlier available in the Pampan region. Now people could not see this kind of fish. It's a sea cow. So because the sea temperature climate change, it is getting extinct. Then the sea urchin. The sea urchin generally is not available in Australia coast. Now there are a lot of sea urchin they could find in Australian coast. Because the entire system is collapsed. It's moving somewhere because that place is not comfortable. So these are the reports. So again the sea level rise is affecting the mangroves, seagrass and salt marshes. The coral bleaching affect here the West Bengal and here is a Gulf of, this is the area you could see this vulnerability. These dark regions are highly vulnerable. You could see India is having fantastic coral reef, especially in Andaman Nicobar and even Gulf of Mannar and other things. You could see now under red alert. Because of this acidification, now we are spoiling, we are losing our coral reefs. The coral reef, the place where fishes are growing and breeding, it is producing more recruitment. The young fishes, juveniles, eggs and other things, breeding is taking place in the coral reef. If coral is bleached, if fish cannot go to that place for breeding, how we can get the young one? How the stock will generate? It is not possible, right? So it is giving some impact on fishing also. So because of that, earlier there were a lot of fish. Fishermen used to go by the artisanal boat and other things they used to catch. But now they are moving towards the availability of fish. So now the power of engine and other thing, mechanization is getting stronger and stronger. So they are spending more energy. So what will happen? So earlier they used to cover, for example, 1 hectare area to harvest the fish. Now, for example, one boat is going. They are targeting 1 hectare area, they are getting 1,000 kilo fish. Now to get the 1,000 kilo fish, they have to concentrate on 5 hectare or 10 hectare areas. For that they are increasing the engine power and other things. So what's happening? We are getting 1,000 kilo fish, but from not 1 hectare area, from 10 hectare area. So what does it mean? We are doing overfishing. Right? So our stock will deplete it. So then again the distributional boundaries. Fish is breeding here and it is moving because of climate change to some other boundaries, geopolitics. It will move to the Sri Lankan water. Then who is having the fishing rate of the fish? Then again is a problem. Our fish going there because of this climate change in near country border. So the boundary change. So again it is giving impact on it. So some cyclone and storm and other things is severely affecting our fishing infrastructure like boat, gears, net and other things. Okay. So impact on aquaculture. So what is the impact on aquaculture of climate change? It's an algal bloom. As I said, sometimes it is a eutrophic. Sometimes due to this overheat and more carbon dioxide, more bloom will develop. So more bloom. Again problem for fish, it will choke the gill, fish cannot, something like a red tail phenomenon and all is there. That is causing, it's a poison actually. Some phytoplanktons are getting, some phytoplanktons are poison. It is getting more bloom, it is consumed by the fish. If you are eating that fish, again we are facing some algal poison. Then second is siltation. If rainwater and the other sea level is rise, another thing is there, aquaculture ponds are getting siltation more, again it's a problem. We need to put more effort to clean it. Then bund erosion, bund, shutter and sluice, gate and other thing for aquaculture pond we are designing, inlet and outlet water. So those structures are getting affected because of this sea level rise and storm and cyclone and many things. Then electrical lines and bund erosions are happening in aquaculture sector because of this climate change. So these are the climate change drivers: warming, stratification, acidification, deoxygenation, intensification, storm, sea level rise. These are all the parameters generated by the climate change. So what the risk of it? So loss of coral, loss of seagrass, loss of mangroves, distribution of flood, loss of coastal ecosystem, loss of bivalves, changes to physiological species. These are the things. So risk level, how it will affect us, the risk, likelihood of occurrence and the severity. The risk is something related to the severity. What severity it will cause us? It will injure us. So this is a severity. It's a region where it's a global problem. Something is a tropical problem, then subtropical problem. So adaptation, what kind of adaptation we can do? We could see here the loss of coral is, the adaptation is high, but changes of physiological species is low. So these are the things, this one. Then for these are the impact and the effect of this global warming due to the climate change due to the global warming. So we need to have some mitigation and adaptation. What is the difference between mitigation and adaptation? Mitigation is action to reduce and curb generation of greenhouse gases. So what are the way we can reduce the increase of greenhouse gases? This is a mitigation to control over it. The next side, adaptation, some other alternatives, what we can do. This action to reduce the climate change. If climate change, because of climate something happened, what kind of action we can take for this? So generally what we have to do, we have to create a awareness among the people. That's the prime thing. With the knowledge base, then data, we should have the proper data. Government has to create a policy to create a data collection of data and interpret data, and we have to create some computer-based model system, because it is a multilingual parameters are playing a role. So they have to generate software to link different parameters. If these parameters goes this like means what is the effect like those things they should see. Then we have to follow code of conduct for responsible fisheries. FAO, Food and Agriculture Organization, Geneva, it is giving the code of conduct for responsible fisheries. What are the, to do the responsible fishing, what are the codes, laws has to follow for aquaculture, fishing, those things we should see. Then again we have to create the link between the community, industry and the government. Only if they are linking, if they link and if they are coming sit together, then only they can find the outcome. We have to work towards the outcome rather than output. Then social, environmental and economic to build the sustainable development. If you want to give the sustainable development, social and environmental economic has to be taken care of. So finally, the resilience will come through the community development. The fishing community we have to develop, because they are the seriously affected person because of this climate change. As far as fisheries is concerned, because they are staying in the coastal area, the sea level rise and other thing, they are also mainly depending on the sea catch fish production. So this community development very important. In case of disaster management, if something happening, disaster management and prevention, those things are done. Then coastal management as a regular practice. If we are controlling these three, we can get the resilience. So how to do the climate change adaptation cycle? First you have to plan, then implement the adaptation, then observe at what way it is going. If you want fine tune, again adjust, again observe. It's a continuous process. It is not one time process. It's a continuous process, because every now and then the parameters are changing differently. So thank you for your attention. It's open for discussion. If any doubt, you can ask.